Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Cormandy from the YouTube channel My Airgun Reviews, and today we're taking another look at the Gomo Bone Collector Maxxim 22 caliber from Gomo. I had previously reviewed this gun and went through two guns. Both of them were defective. The previous gun before that, the Gomo Silent Cat, both of those guns were defective. And the one after this, the Gomo Whisper Fusion Elite, was also defective. And I was just tired of standing in the return line, so I decided to tear this one down and fix it up and find out what was wrong with it. And this gun had a bad piston seal. Okay, and here is a picture of the new piston seal that went in from Custom Air Seals in the land down under. Okay, it's a crying shame that they can charge $210 for a gun, and it comes in, the condition this one did. They make it extremely difficult to overhaul these guns. And not only that, here you can see the grime that I got out of the compression tube. It was so filthy that the lube that I had been putting in there wasn't even hitting metal, it was just hitting grime. But here, I'm going to show you a few obstacles that they put in your way. Okay, before I put this gun together, I just want to show everybody a couple of things about the Gomo's construction. They do everything as differently as possible to try and keep other people from working on their guns. They will not sell you any parts. They will not sell gun repair shops or air gun dealer or air gun repair shops any parts. They want to do all the work themselves. They make it really difficult. Your stock mounting bolts actually require a 4mm hex bolt. Your back stock mounting bolt, which goes right in there, that's actually a number 25 Torx bit. The wrench that they give you for attaching your scope is a size 15 Torx bit. But you've got to remove this lever, to release your bear trap protection. And as you can see, everything is pressed in. And they are actually peened on this side. And I drove this one out from this side. As it turns out, it probably would have been easier to press it through from this side, but and then in here it is just really tight tolerances. I took a Dremel tool and I ground it down a little bit. You can see the edges. It fits so tight in there. I gave it there's still no play. It's still tight, but it was easier to get in. And then this piece, I kind of rounded the edges to make it easier to enter and easier to get through the hole on the cocking linkage. And I even used the end of the Dremel tool and went into the hole of the cocking linkage and beveled that just a little bit so the pin could finesse its way in there if it wasn't perfectly centered. They come out extremely hard. I mean, I really had to beat on it pretty hard. I didn't have a press where I could press them through, so I had to use a punch like this and a hammer and just punch them out. But like I said, Gomo makes it just extremely difficult to work on one of their air guns. They don't want anybody else working on it. But I just wanted to show you that before I put this gun together. Gomo does not want anybody rebuilding their guns. They want to do it all themselves. You can buy parts like this trim piece here and here, but they're not going to sell you any internal parts. You know, the results of this gun after putting a new piston seal in are extremely huge. I'm going to put up the Crony numbers here, and you can see the first test with each pellet was the way the gun came out of the box, and then after lubing the compression tube once, and after lubing the compression tube a second time, and then after tearing the gun down and cleaning it out and putting a new piston seal in it. And the RWS Hypermax and the RWS Hobby 7 or 11.9 grain, their numbers are highlighted in yellow, and look down the extreme spread column of all of these pellets and you'll see an absolute huge difference in before and after. So let's take a look at them numbers. Okay, the bottom three pellets on that list, they were the pellets that I used for the accuracy test after I tuned it up, so they were actually numbers with the new piston seal. And as consistent as the gun was shooting over the Crony, it still really did not develop any real muzzle energy. The most accurate pellet, the H&N Field Target, that only generated 13.19 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. The H&N Barracuda Hunter Extreme, 14.55. And we got our most muzzle energy with the RWS Hypermax, 9.9 grains. That was 17.28 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, but those are a very expensive pellet, and because of their lightweight, nobody's really going to use them for hunting. And with the more accurate hunting pellets, the gun really doesn't have much muzzle energy, and you know, that's just a crying shame for a gun that costs this much. But let's take a look at the accuracy test before I replace the piston seal. How you doing? And now here's the accuracy test with the new piston seal. It was pretty accurate, but there was one pellet that did fly. It must have been a bad pellet because there was just one out of the 15 that flew. So I really cannot understand why Gomo has such poor quality control. I did not have any difficulties putting the new piston seal in this thing. It was just very easy to put it in there. I didn't have any sharpers. They're just ramming them in there. And the tube is not clean at all. There's just no excuse for that, charging $199 to $209 for a gun. It's a crying shame. This one actually had less power than the Gomo Bone Collector Bull Whisper that I reviewed a few years ago. That one at least was up in the 15 foot-pounds muzzle energy with the hunting pellet. This one's down to 13, 14. It shoots consistent and it shoots fairly accurately. And I also included the Crosman Premiers in the accuracy test, and I'm going to do that from now on because so many people, when they buy an Airgun, that's about the only pellet they can get, you know, from a local store, and at least this way they'll know what to expect with their gun shooting the Crosman Premiers. So I'm really kind of through with Gamos for now. You know, they're going to have to do something to improve their quality control, because 5 of the last 5 Gamos I've reviewed were all defective. That's a pretty bad track record, 5 out of 5. I did review the Gomo Wildcat 22 caliber, and that was a good gun. I enjoyed it, but the Gomo I did before that was actually a few years ago. That was a Gomo Big Cat 1400. I didn't even think about the fact that I had to go through 2 pellet rifles to do that review because the first one was defective. It just had, you know, this one was as dry as a bone in here. That one had so much grease in it that it was just oozing out of every seam. You know, like right in here where there's a screw, it was even pumping out there. The gun just shot so hot. So Gomo, they've really, you know, 6 of 8 Gamos bad, you know, of the last ones I've reviewed. And as you can see, it was just carelessness, because there's no excuse for tearing up a piston seal like that. I had no trouble putting it in there, no problem. It shoots extremely consistent now. It still really doesn't generate any power. But that is the Gomo Bone Collector Maxxim after a tune-up. Thank you for watching.